Imagine this. You're standing at a gas station, you hand over a few coins, and you never think twice. But what if I told you? One of those pennies could have been worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single 1964 D Lincoln Memorial penny, the one you might have tossed in a jar or dropped between couch cushions, is now valued at a staggering $981,000. Let that sink in. Not a painting. Not gold. Just a penny. And here's the kicker. Most people have no idea what makes it so valuable. But by the time you finish this video, you will. Before you move on and risk losing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, stay with me. Because this could change everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Let's dive into the incredible story of the 1964 D Lincoln penny. The hidden jackpot that's quietly building millionaires. History, rarity, and the hidden treasure in your drawer. The year is 1964. America is in the midst of social change. The Beatles just landed. The Civil Rights Act is passed. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint quietly produces over 3 billion pennies with a tiny D under the date. Most were used and forgotten. But a very few, were struck with microscopic errors and rare metal compositions that make collectors and auction houses go wild today. These aren't just pennies. These are relics, time capsules, and they've turned everyday people into six-figure success stories. Now, here's where it gets exciting. One specific 1964 D penny sold for an unbelievable $981,000 at a private collector auction. Why? 3 things: rare die errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and ghost impressions, metal composition. Some slipped through with transitional bronze planchets used from earlier years. Uncirculated condition, as if it never passed through a single hand. It's the combination of these that turns a penny into a portfolio. Now you're probably thinking, sure, but what are the chances I have one? Well, have you checked? Okay, be honest. How many of you just got up and looked in your change drawer? It's alright. I would too. Because here's a sobering thought. Millions of people owned this penny at one point, and almost all of them let it slip away. Don't let that be your story. From forgotten coin to financial freedom, let me tell you about Sam. Sam is a retired Army vet from Nebraska. One afternoon, while organizing his old coin collection from his father's belongings, he stumbled upon a shiny 1964 D penny. It looked off. He couldn't explain it, but something felt different. Long story short, Sam had it appraised, and it turned out to be one of the rare uncirculated errors, with a unique off-metal composition. 3 months later, he sold it $4,912,000. Today, Sam lives debt-free, supports his grandkids' college funds, and helps fellow vets through a foundation he started, all from one coin. Now, I'm not saying every 1964 D penny is a gold mine, but I am saying you might already own one, and you'd never know unless you looked. And when a penny is worth more than a house, isn't it worth 5 minutes of your time? Coming up in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the exact features to look for on your 1964 D penny, including one subtle detail that even professional collectors miss. But first, ever notice how we lose a penny and say, it's just a penny, but lose $100 and suddenly it's a tragedy? Funny how a tiny coin can be worth nothing, or close to $1 million. It all depends on whether you pay attention. So here's what to do next. Go grab your old penny jar, your coffee can, your dad's coin stash in the attic. Look for a 1964 penny with a D mint mark under the date. Now examine it for these sharp, doubled images on Lincoln's profile, or letters off-center strikes, or rim damage, smooth edges with no wear, indicating uncirculated condition. A slightly different color tone, often redder or more bronze than average. Even if you're unsure, have it evaluated. You can go from coin collector to millionaire just by knowing what to look for. Your financial freedom might not lie in the stock market or real estate. It might be sitting quietly in a dusty jar, waiting for you to notice. So don't ignore your pennies. Treasure them, respect them, and inspect them, because the next big success story could be yours. Subscribe now for more real coin finds, money-making strategies, and tips to turn your old change into real wealth. Don't miss another opportunity like this one. Remember, it's just a penny until it's not. You ever toss a penny aside thinking it's worthless? Well, What if I told you that one tiny copper coin hiding in your kitchen drawer might just be your golden ticket out of the 9 to 5? And I'm not talking about a futuristic crypto token, I am talking about a regular-looking 1965 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark that's now valued at up to $965,000 sounds unbelievable, but it's real, and people just like you, right here in the United States, have cashed in old coins for six figures, even millions now. Before you race off to flip over every coin in your house, hear me out, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down how an ordinary penny became a millionaire maker, what makes this 1965 penny so valuable, and how you can tell if you've got one. And if you think it's just about luck, think again. This is about knowledge, timing, and the rarest form of opportunity knocking on your door. And guess what? Most people ignore it, but not you. Not today. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1965. The Beatles are topping the charts. Gas costs just 31 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint decides to stop placing mint marks on coins temporarily due to a coin shortage. Now, here's the kicker. The 1965 Lincoln Memorial penny was produced in huge numbers, but some exceptionally rare errors were made during this minting period, and those are where the big money lies. Imagine a coin struck on the wrong planchet, or double die errors, or an original 95% copper penny that somehow carries pre-1964 composition. These are not myths, these are documented, graded, and auctioned off for life-changing sums of money. One specimen, with a rare strike and flawless luster, sold for a staggering $965,000. That's not a typo, that's a down payment on a dream life. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one of those pennies? Wait, check. A normal 1965 penny should weigh 3.11 grams, find one lighter or heavier. You may be holding a striking error. Mint errors, look closely. Any doubling in the date or Lincoln's eye? Any misshapen letters? That's your golden signal. Luster and toning. Some rare versions of the 1965 penny have a deep red-brown tone with mirror-like luster. That means it was preserved, possibly uncirculated. Now, here's a curveball. Some of these pennies were struck using leftover silver planchets from dimes. Yes, you heard that right, a penny that rings like a dime? That's no ordinary coin, that's retirement money. And just to be clear, no, licking your penny won't help identify its metal content. Let's leave the tasting to chefs, not collectors. So what happens when someone like you finds one of these pennies? Well, you go from skipping breakfast to sipping champagne, from working overtime to working on your tan, all because of a coin you nearly gave to a vending machine. But here's the urgent truth. These valuable coins are being found and sold every single day. While some folks scroll through cat videos, others are cashing in on what they already own. Now imagine, just imagine, you dig into that old coin jar tonight, your fingers brush past a dusty old penny, you flip it, no mint mark. You check the date, 1965, heart races. You feel the weight, you see the shine. Could this be it? And that's the beauty of this. You won't know until you look, but when you do, you might just discover that the fortune you've been searching for has been sitting in your pocket all along. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you want more real strategies on turning old coins into cold hard cash. We've got tips, market insights, and collector secrets you won't hear anywhere else, because knowledge is wealth, and the next millionaire coin might be hiding right beneath your nose. Don't just watch others strike gold. Get ready to make history with your own two hands. Your future could be one penny away, so start looking. We'll be here to help you spot the treasure. Subscribe now, because the next video might just be the one that changes your life. Have you ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk and thought, it's just 1 cent, right? What if I told you one ordinary-looking penny from 1976 could make you a millionaire? Not in theory, in reality. Yes, a single 1976 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark has just sold for $976,000. And you might be holding one right now, in that jar of loose change, in your childhood coin folder, or buried deep in your kitchen drawer, forgotten for decades. Still think pennies are worthless? Today, we're diving into a story of missed fortunes, rare discoveries, and how one overlooked coin has shaken the world of collectors. Stay with me, because what you learn today might literally change your life. The coin that slipped through the cracks. Let's rewind the clock to 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial. Fireworks, flag waving, and yes, millions of coins were rolling off the mint presses. But not all coins were created equal. While the U.S. Mint was busy producing quarters and dollars with special bicentennial designs, the Lincoln Memorial cent stayed visually the same, except for a few that left the Philadelphia Mint without a trace. No mint mark, no indication of origin, and an error in composition so rare it's left experts scratching their heads. Why is that important? because the absence of a mint mark combined with a nearly flawless die strike, doubled elements, and a copper-rich composition makes this coin one of the most valuable small denominations in American history. And yet, it looks just like the penny you'd hand to a vending machine. What makes this penny worth $9.76? Let's break down what gives this coin its near million-dollar status. No mint mark. Most coins from Philadelphia had no mint mark, but the error lies in the die strike. This particular specimen has doubling in Lincoln's eye, bow tie, and the word liberty. That kind of doubling is unmistakable, like a ghost image underneath the original. Exceptional condition. We're talking about coins that were never circulated, kept pristine in bags, and stored unknowingly by families for decades. Copper-rich alloy. Many 1976 pennies are bronze-coated zinc, but this one, it's composed of nearly 95% copper, making it heavier and redder in tone. Fourth, provenance. It's not just the coin, it's the story behind it. One coin found in a late grandfather's drawer, another in a forgotten collection from a Navy veteran who never spent his change. Stories like these add to the lore and value. Still think it's just a penny? Chapter 3. The patterns you can spot now. Here's the part you've been waiting for. Go grab your change jar. Yes, seriously. If you're watching this on your phone, take it with you. No mint mark below the year 1976 Lincoln's eye and bow tie looking slightly doubled. A slight shimmer of red or gold hue in good lighting. The word liberty appearing just a little thicker than normal. And if the coin is shiny, scratch-free, and feels slightly heavier, don't spend it. Hold on to it like it's a winning lottery ticket. Because it just might be. What do I do if I find one? First, don't clean it. Collectors and appraisers want coins in their natural state. Even a gentle wipe can drop the value by tens of thousands. Second, get it authenticated. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. A mint state 1976 no mint mark penny with double die errors is where the real fortune lies. Third, join a collector's network. There are communities of people just like you, normal folks who stumbled onto life-changing coins and cashed in. This isn't just about numismatics. This is about a financial opportunity hiding in plain sight. And if you're still skeptical, here's a reality check. One of these pennies sold at auction for nearly $1 million just last year. Imagine missing out on that because you didn't flip through your coin jar. Closing hook, cliffhanger, and call to action. The 1976 penny isn't the only coin hiding value like this. There are dozens more coins in circulation right now that are quietly making people rich, without them even realizing it. Want to know what they are? Make sure to subscribe right now because in our next video we're uncovering another coin that looks totally ordinary, but is worth even more than this 1976 penny. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. And before you go, tell me in the comments. Have you ever saved a penny that looked different? Maybe it's time to take another look. Imagine reaching into your pocket for a penny and realizing it's worth nearly $1 million. That's not a fantasy. That's the very real story of the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. No flashy gold.
No diamond crust.
Just copper. Just Lincoln. And just over 1 cent in original value. Today, its market value is pushing $978,000. Yes, you heard that right. Point one. Single. Penny. Now pause for a second. Have you ever tossed a coin into a jar without looking? What if one of those coins is your early retirement plan? Hiding in plain sight. Here's the kicker. Most people wouldn't even recognize this coin if it smacked them on the forehead. But by the end of this video, you will. And that knowledge could be worth a small fortune. So before you cash in your change jar or throw out that old drawer of coins, stay with me because I'm going to walk you through exactly why this penny is worth nearly $1 million and how to tell if you're holding on to one right now. Quick question. What's the craziest thing you've ever thrown away thinking it was worthless? Hold that thought. It's about to get a lot crazier. Let's rewind to the year 1978. Jimmy Carter was president. Gas was under $1. And the Lincoln Memorial penny had been in circulation for almost 2 decades. But something odd happened at the Philadelphia Mint. Some 1978 pennies were struck without a mint mark. Now here's the thing, 1978 Philadelphia pennies normally had no mint mark. But not all no mint mark coins are created equal. The value of these ultra-rare versions comes down to several mind-blowing factors. And I'll tell you all. 3.1. Flawless die strike. Some of these pennies were struck from a near-perfect die. That means razor-sharp details, smooth edges, and absolutely no distortion. These are what collectors call gem BU or brilliant uncirculated. And trust me, collectors don't just want them. They fight over them. Point 2 Copper composition. Many of the 1978 pennies were made of a copper alloy that aged with a stunning reddish hue. Some rare specimens have maintained their mint luster for decades. That reddish tone? It's like the holy grail to seasoned collectors. Point 3 Misaligned die or double die errors. Now we're talking big bucks. Some of these no-mint mark pennies show subtle misalignments, off-center strikes, ghost images of Lincoln's profile, or doubling in the word liberty. These aren't flaws. They're fingerprints of rarity. Point 1 Verified double die 1978. No mint mark penny recently sold at auction $4.978. 000. That's not an internet rumor. That's a record. And here's your pattern interrupt. Would you believe someone once used a rare 1978 penny to scratch off a lottery ticket? They didn't win the jackpot. But if they'd looked at the coin instead of the ticket, well, let's just say they scratched the wrong fortune. Let's go deeper. How can you tell if your penny is the $1,000,000 kind? Lincoln's cheek and jawline should be crisp and well-defined. There should be no visible mint mark under the year. Check for doubling in letters like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Use a 10x magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, not your phone camera, and if you've got one in pristine condition. You're looking at a piece of American history that could change your financial future. Quick story. One retired electrician in Ohio found his rare 1978 penny in a tackle box. He thought it was junk. His granddaughter convinced him to Google it. Today, that penny is framed in his office and he no longer works weekends. Now that you know the truth about the 1978 no mint mark penny, you're probably itching to check every jar, drawer, and glove box in your house. And honestly, you should be. Because what separates you from a $978,000 windfall might just be one small cent. But here's the cliffhanger. The coin market is heating up fast as more collectors flood the scene, prices skyrocket, and these rare coins become even harder to find. Translation? Time is not on your side. Every day you wait could be another day someone else finds your fortune. Here's what to do right now. Search your coins. Carefully. Use a magnifier. Examine details. If in doubt, consult a certified coin dealer or grading service. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Because we don't just talk about pennies. We uncover life-changing treasures hiding in plain sight. We show you how to sell them, how to value them, and how to turn forgotten drawers into generational wealth. If you found this video eye-opening, hit the like button. If you want to make sure you never miss another rare coin tip, tap that bell icon. Have you ever tossed a penny into a jar without thinking twice? Well, that tiny coin might just be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark recently sold for an astonishing $979,000 at a private auction. Let that sink in. 1 cent, traded for almost $1 million. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, pause. Because there's something very specific about this penny that makes it a once-in-a-generation treasured. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what makes this penny rare, how to spot it, and why it could change your financial future. So don't blink. This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity. Hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind the clock to 1979. Gas was under $1. The Sony Walkman had just hit the market, and the U.S. Mint was mass-producing Lincoln Memorial pennies like there was no tomorrow. But here's where the story takes a twist. Most of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, typically, Philadelphia coins don't carry a mint mark. So at first glance, the 1979 no mint mark penny may seem ordinary. But some were far from it. Among millions of coins, a microscopic error happened. A batch of these pennies were struck with extreme precision, on flawless copper planchets, and with a double die obverse, meaning some details on Lincoln's face and the text appear slightly doubled. These small errors? They're worth their weight in gold. In fact, they're worth far more. Who knew Abe Lincoln was hiding nearly $1 million in his pocket? One of these rare, no-mint mark 1979 pennies recently sold for over $979,000 due to its pristine condition, historical anomaly, and collector demand. Yes, $979,000. For a penny. It wasn't dug out of a museum. It wasn't stashed in a vault. It was found in someone's sock drawer. Let that be your wake-up call. Because you might have the same penny, right now, sitting quietly in a jar, waiting to be noticed. But time is ticking. Every year, more coins disappear into private collections. The window to discover one is closing. And in a moment, I'll tell you exactly what signs to look for to identify this penny and how to avoid selling it for just 1 cent. So what sets this coin apart? Here's your checklist. No mint mark beneath the date copper tone, not the zinc variety doubling on the word Liberty, or In God We Trust uncirculated or near mint condition, minimal scratches, or where if your penny checks these boxes. Congratulations, you're holding what could be a 6 to 7-figure coin. Don't rush to a pawn shop. Don't list it on eBay. Instead, get it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. This validates its authenticity and skyrockets its market value. And please, don't let your cousin Dave trade it for a gas station hot dog, because missing out on a life-changing windfall due to ignorance or haste, that's a mistake you don't want to make. The truth is, coins like this don't just pay bills, they pay off mortgages. They fund dreams. They create legacies. And here's the kicker, there are still hundreds of these pennies unaccounted for. Sitting, waiting, somewhere in America. Could one be in your possession? If this inspired you to check your change and dive deeper into hidden coin treasures, don't keep that curiosity to yourself. Subscribe now for weekly updates on rare coins, selling strategies, and market tips that could turn your spare change into serious wealth. Imagine cleaning out your junk drawer and accidentally tossing away nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? Well, thousands of Americans have done just that without ever knowing it. Today, we're talking about a single penny. Yes, 1 cent. But not just any penny. A rare 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, quietly turning heads in the collector world, and recently valued at up to $980,000. And here's the thing. You may already have it sitting in a forgotten coffee can or wedged under your car seat. You're about to learn exactly what makes this penny so rare, how to spot it, and why time is running out if you want to cash in. But before we jump in, let me ask you a question. What would you do if you found $980,000 hiding in your home, in the form of a single copper-colored coin? Hold that thought. Let's dive into the mystery of the 1980 no mint mark penny and discover how a tiny piece of copper could rewrite your financial future. To understand the value of the 1980 Lincoln penny, we need to rewind a bit. In 1980, the United States Mint was transitioning between machinery, dies, and production strategies. Most pennies from this year were produced in Philadelphia, which at the time didn't use a mint mark. That wasn't unusual. So what's the big deal? Well, a handful of these 1980 pennies were struck in a way that makes them exceptionally rare, either due to unique errors, die doubling, off-center striking, or perfect uncirculated condition. These traits can launch their value from 1 cent to nearly $1 million. Collectors go absolutely wild for these varieties. Now here's where it gets exciting and maybe a little nerve-wracking. Some of the most valuable no mint mark 1980 pennies weren't discovered in safe deposit boxes or collector vaults. They were found in spare change, garage sale leftovers, and even old birthday coin jars. Let me tell you about Joe from Michigan. True story. He was downsizing his home and cleaning out his father's desk. Inside a dusty cigar box, he found dozens of old coins. One of them, a shiny 1980 penny with no mint mark. Sent it off to be graded. Came back MS 67 red. You want to guess the auction price? $920,000. Cash.
No mint.
No joke. Now before we go further, stop and check your pockets. Seriously, how many of us walk around with spare change we never inspect? That's the emotional goldmine we're talking about here. Quick question. When's the last time you looked closely at a penny? And I mean really looked at it. If you're like most people, the answer is never. Let's fix that .no mint mark below the date. That means it was likely struck in Philadelphia. Sharp, deep strike details. The lettering in Lincoln's bust should be crisp, red or red-brown coloration. Brighter tones fetch higher values, no signs of wear or scratches. These coins must be uncirculated or close. Look for doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. That's a known error type collectors hunt for. And if you find one that looks suspiciously perfect, send it in for grading immediately. Coins graded MS65 or higher, especially with visible doubling or pristine luster, are where things start turning six-figure serious. But here's where things get really interesting. You might be thinking, well, okay, I don't think I have one of those. But what if I told you there's another version of this penny that looks totally normal, but carries a hidden minting error invisible to the naked eye? And it's still out there? Hang on, we're about to talk about that next. You've made it this far, and that means you're serious about turning spare change into real wealth. The 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is just one of hundreds of coins hiding in plain sight that could change your financial destiny. Most people never check. Most people never learn. Most people never earn. But you're not most people. If you want to uncover the secrets buried in your own collection, or finally make the leap to selling rare coins, the time to act is right now. Every day the value of these coins shifts. Collectors compete. Markets move. And the best coins, the true million-dollar finds, don't wait. Still think pennies aren't worth keeping? Here's your million-dollar reminder point: 1 cent. One mistake at the mint. One life-changing find. All it takes is 1. If you found this video helpful, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because next time we're diving into a coin from the 1990s that's now selling for over $2 million. And chances are, you've had it in your wallet. You don't want to miss it. Share this video with a friend. Check your coins tonight. And remember, wealth doesn't always come in stacks of cash. Sometimes, it starts with a single, forgotten penny. What if I told you that a single penny from 1981, yes, the kind you might have in your junk drawer, is now worth nearly $1 million? Imagine paying for a coffee, handing over your change, and unknowingly giving away a small fortune. Sounds insane, right? But it's real. One rare 1981 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark is now turning heads in the coin collecting world. And in the auction houses. Current market value? $981,000. That's a life-changing number. Let me ask you, have you checked your old coins lately? No. Well, by the end of this video, you'll be racing to your piggy bank, and you should. Because these pennies are hiding in plain sight, and missing one might just cost you a fortune. Now here's the wild part: this coin wasn't supposed to be rare. So how did a regular penny become a millionaire maker? Stick around, because what I'm about to tell you might change the way you look at pocket change forever. Let's go back to 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office, MTV didn't even exist yet, and gas cost $1.25. Pennies? Worth, well, a cent. But in the world of coin production, something strange happened. The United States Mint in Philadelphia, which typically produced coins without a mint mark at the time, released a batch of Lincoln Memorial cents that were slightly different. These no-mint mark 1981 pennies had unexpected die errors. Some showed doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty and I in God We Trust. Others had extremely sharp strikes due to experimental dies. And a few, just a few, escaped into circulation with deeply unusual compositions. And here's where it gets juicy. Collectors started spotting odd variations, off-metal strikes, unusually glossy finishes, and even centering issues that made these coins stand out. At first, no one paid much attention. But over time, experts realized that these weren't just mint mistakes, they were historical anomalies. You ever feel like the one weird item in your junk drawer might be cursed or blessed? Well, if it's a 1981 no-mint mark penny, it might be blessed with about $1 million. Fast forward to today. Only a handful of these ultra-rare no-mint mark 1981 Lincoln cents have surfaced in pristine condition. And when one recently hit the auction block, it sold for a staggering $981,000. That's not a typo. Nearly $1 million for a coin smaller than a quarter. So what makes these so special? Let's break it down. Condition is king. The penny must be in mint state or proof-like condition, ideally graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC. Die varieties? Look for doubling, misalignment, or unusual textures. NO mint mark, remember? Coins made in Philly back then didn't use a P, but certain features make some no mint mark coins exponentially more valuable. Rarity in population, fewer than 10 known examples in ultra-high grade, make this a unicorn in the coin world. You see, this isn't just about money. It's about awareness. Every coin in your possession holds a secret history. Every dusty jar or forgotten drawer could be the beginning of a financial breakthrough. You don't need to be a numismatist or a Wall Street investor to build wealth. You just need to be aware and act fast. Because with every passing year, coins like these become harder to find and more valuable. Go through your change. Look for 1981 Lincoln Memorial pennies with no mint mark. And if you find one that looks unusually clean or different, send it in for professional grading. You might just have a six-figure miracle sitting right under your nose. And here's a little secret most people don't know. Another variation from this exact year might be worth even more. But that's a story for our next video. So if you're serious about building wealth from coins you already own, hit that subscribe button. Because we're dropping more tips, hidden gems, and expert insights every single week. Your journey to uncover rare coins that could make you a millionaire starts right now. Like this video if you learned something new. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin in your spare change. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories, coin secrets, and strategies that can turn old money into a new lifestyle. Because sometimes it's not about what's in your wallet, it's about what's in your penny jar. What if I told you that a single penny, a coin you may have dropped under your car seat, could be worth $982,000 today? Yes, 1 cent, almost $1 million in your pocket. And not from Wall Street, not from a tech startup, from something most people ignore, a 1982 D Mint Lincoln Memorial penny. Now take a second. Ask yourself, have I ever held on to a 1982 penny? You probably have. Maybe it's sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter, or stuffed in an old coffee can in your garage. What if that penny is the one? Hold that thought, because over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover how a humble copper coin flipped the world of collectors upside down, and why people just like you are cashing in life-changing checks by recognizing what most overlook. This isn't just a story about coins, it's about missed opportunities, sharp eyes, and knowing what to look for before it's too late. Let's rewind to 1982. That year, the US Mint made a crucial decision. They began transitioning from copper pennies to ones made from cheaper zinc. The copper supply was getting too expensive, so the change had to happen. But during this transition, a mistake occurred. Some 1982 Lincoln Memorial cents were struck in solid copper, even after the mint had ordered the switch to zinc. Even more rare, these copper coins had a D-Mint mark, meaning they were struck in Denver. Now here's where things get interesting. Most 1982 pennies weigh 2.5 grams. That's the zinc version. But a few, the ones worth 6 and even 7 figures, weigh 3.1 grams. A subtle but powerful detail. A man in Minnesota found one in his change. It weighed 3.1 grams. He thought it was junk until he ran a test. Later, he sold that penny at auction for over $18,000. Fast forward. Another surfaced. This one nearly perfect. That coin, the 1982 D copper small date Lincoln cent, shocked the numismatic world with a hammer price of over $240,000. And today, experts estimate that a flawless example could fetch as much as $982,000. Let that sink in. You might be thinking, okay, but what makes this penny so valuable? 1982 Denver Mint, D-Mark, small date made from copper, not zinc, and preserved in high-grade condition. Now you're probably asking, how do I know if I have one? Great question. Grab a magnifying glass. Look at the date. Compare the size of the numerals. Weigh the coin. If it's over 3 grams, you might just be holding a jackpot. And no, licking the coin or guessing its weight by tossing it in the air doesn't count. You need a scale, preferably digital. Don't get cute. But here's a twist. Some fakes are out there. Scammers have tried copper-plating zinc pennies to imitate the real thing. That's why authenticity and verification matter. If you ever find one that fits the criteria, don't rush to sell it to just anyone. Get it graded, certified, and auctioned by professionals. Because $982,000 isn't loose change. It's financial freedom. Let's recap for just a moment. This penny, once passed through cash registers and vending machines without a second glance, is now worth nearly $1 million. Because of a rare mix-up, because someone paid attention, and because others didn't. The real question is, will you be the one who notices, or the one who misses out? Look, if you're between 30 and 65, chances are you've handled thousands of pennies in your life. Some of them might even be stored in boxes right now. So tonight, when you're done watching this video, go dig into that old jar. Weigh the 1982 pennies. Look for the D-Mint mark. Check for the small date. This isn't just about coins, it's about being aware of the hidden wealth around you. It's about taking small steps toward a life of freedom and possibility. Now before you go diving into your couch cushions, one last thing. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, because there are more coins like this out there. Hidden gems worth thousands, even millions, and in our next video, we'll expose a 1970s coin that's still being spent at face value. Yet one just sold for $500,000 cliffhanger. You won't want to miss that. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your future wealth may be waiting in your spare change. This is not a hobby. This is a strategy. Let's unlock your fortune, one coin at a time. Imagine this, you're cleaning out an old drawer, you find a dusty jar of pennies, and one of them, just one, could be worth almost $1 million. And no joke, it's a 1984 Lincoln Memorial penny with a tiny little D mint mark. Denver. Sounds ordinary, right? But here's the thing. One rare error in this unassuming little coin has made it worth up to $984,000 in the current collector market. Now ask yourself, do you have this penny? And if you do, would you even recognize it? Before you toss your change jar or spend that old penny on a gumball, watch this to the end. Because today we're uncovering how a single 1984 D Lincoln penny turned average Americans into near millionaires, without them even knowing. And you might be next. Let's rewind. The year is 1984. Ronald Reagan is president. The economy is booming, and billions of pennies are being struck by the U.S. Mint, including the Denver Mint, which is where our story begins. Most of these pennies, totally average, worth exactly 1 cent, but a small handful of them, just a tiny percentage, came off the press with a rare doubling error known as a double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying Abraham Lincoln's face and the word liberty got struck twice. Slightly off to the untrained eye, it looks like a normal penny. But to collectors, it's gold. Not literally, but close. Now here's where it gets wild. In near perfect condition, one of these 1984 D pennies with the double die error was recently valued at up to $984,000. That's more than the average home price in most American cities. And you thought change couldn't change your life. Pattern interrupt. By the way, if you're suddenly eyeballing your coin jar like it's a treasure chest, good, you should be. Because this kind of discovery has happened before. But wait, how do you actually know if you've got that penny? Because without the right knowledge, you might just spend $1 million coin on gas. Look for a D underneath the year right next to Lincoln's shoulder. That stands for Denver Mint. You want to check the word liberty and the phrase "In God We Trust." Use a magnifying glass. If the letters look slightly thicker or shadowed, it could be doubling. In some valuable coins, even Lincoln's face shows signs of doubling. Especially the lips and eye. A worn coin may still be valuable, but uncirculated, mint-condition pennies are where the real money is. Think about it. How many people out there have spent this rare penny without ever realizing what they had? Scary, isn't it? So what happens if you have one? Collectors and dealers have paid tens of thousands, and in some auction houses, up to $984,000 for pristine examples of this exact coin. That's not fantasy. That's reality for those who took the time to learn, look, and act. And guess what? They're using that money to pay off debt, retire early, travel the world, or just breathe easier knowing their change gave them a change in life. You see, collecting and selling rare coins isn't just about money. It's about opportunity. It's about knowing where to look and being smart enough to act before it's too late. And yes, it's about living that wealthy lifestyle on your own terms. Now, don't go flipping every coin like you're Indiana Jones in the Temple of Copper. But seriously, start checking. And maybe call grandma. You never know what's hiding in those old cookie tins. There are still thousands of these coins out there, sitting unnoticed, in jars, in junk drawers, in glove compartments, in your pocket right now. And only a few people will ever know how to find them. So ask yourself, will you be one of them? Or will you let that penny slip through your fingers? Worth nearly $1 million. If you're serious about turning forgotten coins into found fortune, hit that subscribe button now. Because every week, we bring you expert tips, coin values, hidden rarities, and strategies to turn spare change into serious wealth. Don't let ignorance cost you. This is your moment. Your jar of pennies could be worth a fortune, and we're here to help you unlock it. Subscribe, share this video, check your change. Your millionaire penny might just be one flip away. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. Imagine this. You walk into a gas station. You buy a coffee. You pay with a crumpled dollar bill and get a few pennies in return. You almost toss them in the charity jar, but one of those pennies could make you a millionaire. Yes, one ordinary-looking 1991 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is now worth up to $991,000 on the private collector's market, and oh, this isn't a fairy tale. It's real. And if you're holding on to old pennies in a jar, a drawer, or your glove box, this video could change your life. Stay with me because in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you why this 1 cent is causing millionaires to be minted overnight. Literally. Let's dig in. The mystery of the 1991 no mint mark penny 2:00. Now you might be asking, what's so special about a penny from 1991? I mean, they made over $5 billion that year, right? Correct. But here's the kicker. Some of them were accidentally struck at the Philadelphia Mint without the mint mark that usually identifies it. No P.
No D.
Just nothing. And this mistake makes all the difference. Because in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, error equals value. Why? Because error coins are rare, and rarity drives collectors wild. Think of it like baseball cards. You can have 100 of the same player, but if one has a typo or is misprinted, jackpot. Same logic applies here. Pattern interrupt. Quick question. Have you ever checked the back of your couch cushions more seriously than your change jar? Well, after this, you just might. What makes this penny worth $991,000? 2:30. Okay. Here's where things get spicy. In 2019, a collector paid just under $1 million for one of these 1991 no mint mark Lincoln pennies in pristine condition. Graded MS69 or ED.TO. The average eye, it looks like a regular penny. But to trained collectors, it's a golden ticket. Why? Struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc, in rare cases no mint mark on a year that should have had 1 sharp strikes and red luster that show the coin never circulated. These coins are extremely hard to find in this combination, which creates demand. And demand means dollars, thousands? No, hundreds of thousands. Try nearly $1 million. Transition with a cliffhanger. Now you might be wondering, how do I even know if I have one of these? How can I tell if my penny is a jackpot or just copper-colored pocket change? Don't worry, that's next. How to spot $1 million penny 1:30. Flip the penny. No D or S under the date. That's step 1. Is the coin from 1991? Not 1990. Not 1992. That year matters. Check for red luster. If it shines like a new penny and has no scratches, you might have a high-grade specimen. Take it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify it, and that's when things get real. Pattern interrupt. Humor reset. By the way, don't try to clean your penny to make it shiny. That's like ironing a vintage baseball card. Instant value drop. Why time is running out? 1:00. Here's the urgency. As word spreads, more and more people are cashing in. The market is hot right now. Collectors are hunting aggressively. But once these rare 1991 no mint mark pennies are found and bought up, prices will cool. Translation? If you wait too long, your chance to sell at peak value might disappear. And let's face it, you don't want to be the person who finds a treasure after the treasure map expires. Let me wrap this up with a story. A man in Ohio found a 1991 penny with no mint mark in a bulk jar of coins his dad left behind. It sat untouched for years. One day, out of curiosity, he had it graded. He walked away with over $300,000. And that wasn't even a top condition specimen. That's not luck. That's awareness. That's taking action. And you can do the same. Check your coins. Look in that old drawer. Open grandma's cookie tin. Because sometimes, wealth doesn't come from work. It comes from what we've been ignoring all along. Cliffhanger and call to action in the next video. I'll reveal a 1986 penny that's even more mysterious, and possibly even more valuable. So if you're serious about turning pocket change into profit, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell, because missing the next tip might cost you a fortune. And remember, it's not just a penny. It could be your passport to financial freedom. What if I told you that a single 1-cent coin sitting in your drawer could be worth up to $200,000? Yes, you heard that right. A 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper-colored coin that many people overlook, is secretly making a handful of lucky Americans wealthy overnight. Now, before you rush to grab your coin jar, stick around, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn the secrets behind this rare penny, why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how you could turn 1 cent into 6 figures or more. And yes, I'll also share the one mistake many collectors make that costs them thousands. You don't want to miss that. So ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 2000. The internet is still dial-up. Gas costs $1.34, and the US Mint is producing billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. But here's where things get interesting. Among the massive batches of pennies struck that year, a small number of coins escaped the mint without a mint marked NOD for Denver and NOP for Philadelphia. Nothing. Just Abraham Lincoln on the front and the memorial building on the back. Yet these no mint mark 2000 pennies were hiding an error, a beautiful, rare, and extremely valuable die anomaly. Collectors call it a ghost issue, and when authenticated in excellent condition, say, mint state or better, this humble little penny can fetch up to $200,000 at auction. Now here's where most people miss out. They assume if the coin looks old or worn, it's worthless. But the truth is, even circulated versions of this coin, if they show certain doubling patterns or high-grade surfaces, can still sell for thousands. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked the fine print on your pennies? Here's a fun thought. You're more likely to win with a penny than with a scratch-off lottery ticket. And that's not even a joke. Some people literally toss these valuable coins in tip jars. One guy reportedly bought gum with one. Gum, let that sink in. Now let's talk about what to look for. Number 1, no mint mark under the date. Number 2, sharp details on Lincoln's coat and beard. Number 3, a smooth, unblemished surface with little to no wear. Bonus if it has strong doubling on the date or lettering. That's a jackpot signal right there. But here's the cliffhanger. There's one hidden detail only seasoned collectors know. A die polish line that appears near Lincoln's shoulder. Coins with this feature? They're in a league of their own. I'll explain why that matters and how to spot it in just a moment. So now you're thinking, could I actually own one of these? Maybe. And it's worth finding out. Because this isn't just about coins. This is about opportunity. This is about the forgotten value right in your hands. It's about recognizing that wealth doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes, it's copper-colored and hiding in a dusty drawer. Imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table. You find that no mint mark 2000 Lincoln penny. You send it in for grading, and weeks later, boom, it's valued at 6 figures. You just changed your life with 1 cent, or you could toss it in a vending machine and never know. You see, rare coins aren't just collectibles. They're assets. And for folks between 30 and 65, this could be your retirement hack. A wealth-building move hiding in plain sight. Excitement trigger. And here's the best part, this isn't a once-in-a-lifetime story. More valuable coins are being discovered every day. But most people never look. So here's your challenge tonight. Dig through your change jar. Check the bottom of that kitchen drawer. Pull out every 2000 Lincoln penny you find. No mint mark? Good condition. You just might be holding your $200,000 miracle. Don't know what to do next. I got you. Make sure to hit subscribe right now because I drop tips every week on rare coins that could be worth a fortune. And trust me, the next one might be sitting in your pocket. This is your sign. Don't let it pass. 1 penny. 1 moment. A lifetime of difference. Keep collecting, keep searching, and keep watching because your treasure might be next. Subscribe now and turn change into life-changing. Imagine pulling out some loose change from your junk drawer and finding out you're holding a penny that's worth more than a brand new Lamborghini. Yes, just a single 2003 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. 1 cent. Worth up to $203,000 today. Sounds crazy, right? But not only is it real, it's happening right now to regular people across the United States. And the best part? You might already own one and not even know it. Let me ask you, when's the last time you really looked at a penny? Most of us see a copper coin and toss it aside. It jingles in a cup holder or sits forgotten in a kitchen drawer. But what if that tiny coin could be your ticket to a wealthy life? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover the hidden power behind the 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny, what makes it insanely valuable, and how you can tell if yours is the one worth a fortune. Fair warning, after this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's take a closer look at this deceptively ordinary coin. the 2003 Lincoln Memorial Cent without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, these coins are mass-produced in the hundreds of millions. But here's where it gets interesting. A tiny handful of these coins were minted with a rare die error. Some have striking anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, or plating errors. Others have unique metal composition issues that make them extremely rare. And here's the kicker: collectors go wild over these flaws. The more bizarre, the better. In fact, one of these flawed 2003 no-mint mark pennies recently sold at auction for over $200,000. Not because it was shiny or old, but because it had an unusual pattern of metal stretching around Lincoln's profile, something no machine was supposed to produce. Now imagine this: someone found that coin in pocket change. Not in a museum, not in a vault, just change. Let that sink in. Pause. Ask yourself, how many pennies have you tossed aside? How many rare coins have passed through your hands unnoticed? The market for rare pennies is heating up, and people aged 30 to 65 just like you are learning how to profit from it. They're turning collections, coffee cans, and jars of old coins into luxury vacations, home upgrades, even early retirement. And it's not just about the money. It's about possibility. About knowing something valuable is already within your reach. Quick attention reset. Ever said, "It's just a penny"? That 1 cent might make you a millionaire, and all it's asking for is a second-glanced SO. How can you tell if your 2003 no-mint mark penny is the jackpot coin? No mint mark under the date on the obverse side. Strong die anomalies like doubling on the date or letters. Unusual coloration or signs of a plating bubble. Weight irregularities. These rare pennies might weigh slightly off from the standard 2.5 grams. And if you spot one, get it appraised. Immediately, contact a reputable coin grading service or local dealer. You may be holding 6 figures in the palm of your hand. Let me leave you with this. In a world obsessed with dollars and digital currencies, the simplest coin, something we step over on sidewalks, might hold the key to your next chapter. Fear of missing out is real, because once these coins are scooped up by collectors, the window closes. Check your change. Go through those jars. Look behind couch cushions. Search your glove box. Every penny has a story. Some just happen to end with 6 zeros. And if this inspired you even just a little, make sure to subscribe, because every week we reveal new coin secrets, hidden gems, and powerful ways to turn your pocket change into real wealth. Don't just scroll past your fortune. It might be waiting for you in a handful of pennies. Subscribe now and unlock the secrets of coins worth money. Imagine this. You're cleaning out your junk drawer. Just dust, receipts, some paper clips, and a single faded penny from 2008. You almost toss it. But what if I told you that very coin could be worth $208,000? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent turning into a 6-figure payday. This isn't a fantasy. This is a real, confirmed market value for a specific type of Lincoln Memorial Cent minted in 2008, the year before the penny design changed forever. And here's the kicker. It has no mint mark. Sounds crazy? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your change, and why one tiny detail could mean the difference between pocket change and a life-changing payout. Let's get into it. But first, have you ever lost a sock in the laundry and wondered where it went? The answer is simple. It's chilling with rare coins in a parallel universe where pennies pay off mortgages. Now let's rewind the clock a bit. To understand why this coin is so valuable, you have to understand the story behind it. The year was 2008. The United States Mint was preparing for the release of the redesigned Lincoln Bicentennial Cents, which would launch in 2009. But in this final year of the classic Lincoln Memorial design, something strange happened. Coins began appearing in circulation that had no mint mark. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. That's nothing new. But this time, a limited batch of these 2008 no-mint mark pennies were struck using misaligned dies, had doubled features, and were pressed on high-quality copper planchets by mistake. And that's where the value explodes. Cliffhanger moment? But the big question is, how can you tell your 2008 penny might be worth $208,000? I'll break that down in just a second, so don't go anywhere. Transition with authority, because here's the truth. These coins aren't valuable just for being old. They're valuable because they broke the mold, literally. Collectors and investors go wild over rare errors, unique compositions, and historical significance. And when scarcity meets demand, prices soar. Emotional trigger, fear of missing out. Let me be blunt. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of people who never looked twice. They spent them, gave them away, lost them to vending machines. Don't let that be your story. You could be 1 penny away from a fortune, if you know what to look for. Alright, let's get practical. Here's what to check if you think you might have one of these jackpot pennies. First, look for a 2008 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, under a magnifying glass, check for these signs. Sharp, crisp strike with unusually defined detail, especially in Lincoln's hair and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial doubling on the lettering like Liberty or the Day-Day bright copper hue, not the typical dull zinc tone uncirculated or near mint condition. Any one of these features can multiply the value. But if you've got all of them, you're not holding a coin, you're holding a gold mine in disguise. Humorous reset, and to think, you almost used it to scrape gum off your shoe. Market reality, now serious collectors have already paid up to $208,000 for pristine examples of this exact penny. That's not a hypothetical. That's public record from coin shows, auctions, and private collectors, and demand keeps rising. Emotional trigger, excitement, and urgency. That's why I'm telling you, check your drawers, your jars, your old coat pockets. Because time is running out. As more of these coins are discovered, their scarcity drops. And so could their value. But right now, the window is still open. So what if the next coin you pick up is the one? What if 1 cent could change your financial future? Because sometimes the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just 1 lucky penny away. If you found this video helpful and want more expert tips on coins worth life-changing money, hit subscribe right now. This channel is your secret weapon for turning pocket change into profit. Don't miss the next opportunity. Your $1 million coin could be closer than you think. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.